Hello everyone. Sorry if this is gonna fall over at some point, but I first have to submit a duty switch form for duty as a community advisor at my residence home. But I'm just here to talk about something really real in my life. And also I'll be periodically looking at my computer just because I'm using my phone to record, and I need to have some notes in regards to the thing I want to talk about today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, I suppose. My name is Erin. I am a Korean adoptee. So I was born recently. I just found out I was born in Gyeongsan, which is about like southeast of Daegu. Or Daegu, or I don't really like. I don't know the Hangul of it, so I can't really give a good pronunciation of it. But April, March, February, January, February, March, April, 19. Okay, I'm done with that. So now on to my story for today. So, I have recently, as an adoptee, I've recently opened up the birth family search, as in I'm kind of more, it's birth mother search is what I always kind of refer it as, just because I recently got my child study, which gives me all the details about my like the reason why I was given up for adoption. And it just kind of, I read it and I took it and I interpreted it as more of like my birth mother's decision to do, like, put me up for adoption. So yeah, that's why I call it birth mom. If I refer to it as birth mom search opposed to birth family or birth parent search, that's the reason why. But so January 1st, I actually probably in December and like slightly November time, I was like talking about it with my adoptive family. But throughout this whole video, side note, throughout this whole video, I will be referring to my adoptive mom, adoptive family, adoptive brother, adoptive father as my family, as my mom, as my dad, as my brothers, because for 22 years I've seen them, and I've only, I would say, 21 in 6 months. I've seen them as my parents, as my mom, my dad, and my brother. So that's why I won't be like, oh, my A mom, oh, my A dad, oh, my A brother, just because, like, that's how I feel. Other people have different interpretations, and they refer to their adoptive family as differently, but just for the sake of this video, adoptive family, adoptive brother, adoptive mom, adoptive is now just mom, dad, brother. So, but I was talking to my mom and my dad about this for a while, and I was just like, oh, like, I want to open up adoption search, and I didn't think they would ever take it bad, and they never did, just because my family is amazing, and they've always been really open about adoption with me. But I just was kind of afraid because, like, some people are like, oh, but I'm your parents. So yeah, I won't probably include that in the video. So I was always kind of nervous about it. But as things got going, my mom was like, well, we should have done this so much longer, like years ago when you turned 18, just because what we're finding out is it takes a really long time. So I submitted my initial paperwork and a registration fee, which is kind of hefty. I'll be completely transparent with you all. It was over $300 to start my birth family search. And that's not any sort of communications with the agency in South Korea. It's just with Children's Home Society, in which I was adopted through here in Minnesota. And that then probably a week after January 1st, 2019, I heard back that I was put on a waiting list to be assigned to a caseworker. So that waiting list was about 4 to 8 weeks, which it has passed, and so it's been a long time, but they're fairly consistent. Like Children's Home Society was really consistent with their timelines. They gave me an accurate timeline, and I wasn't expecting a fast turnaround like that. But so basically, first thing we realized was waiting can range from 2 months to a long time. And from there, probably, let's see, when was my email? It was February 19th, 2019. I got an email from my social worker at Children's Home Society, and she just said, "Hi, I've been assigned to your request." I'm reading it off my laptop right now, so that's why you're wondering why I'm looking away. And it seems like you're interested in starting your search this time. I'm hoping that we can schedule a time to discuss the search process, outcomes, timelines, and go over any questions that you may have. In the meanwhile, for Children's Home Society, they told me that we need basically the next batch of forms we'll need would be for the Korean agencies in South Korea. And the first one that you would need, and including in that email, she told me that we need the next batch of forms for the Korean agencies, actually, not just Children's Home Society, because Children's Home Society works with a sister group in South Korea, like HOLD or Eastern Social Welfare Society. HOLD are kind of the big ones that I've heard of. So the first application is the SWS application, which is the Social Welfare Society, which is the adoption agency I was adopted through. KAS, which KAS means one second. Okay. The KAS petition form, which is the Korea Adoption Services, which is what it stands for. I need a copy of a passport, copy of certificate of citizenship, and for those who don't know what a copy of certificate of citizenship, I had no clue what it meant. But what I was told from my social worker was that basically with the conversation I had from her, as long as you had a copy of your passport and then the certificate of citizenship, she told me on the phone, was a copy of a birth certificate that was made in the U.S. So basically when I came to the U.S., my parents brought me to either a courtroom, and from there they made a birth certificate for me, and basically it was just like, oh, father, my mom, father, my dad, mother, my mom, and it was just kind of like a U.S. birth certificate. In the bottom it was kind of sketchy though. It says does not act as like certificate of citizenship, but I think my passport I think it would, like back in the day, it probably helped to get my passport and my social security number. And then in the petition forms, like along with the other batch of forms needed for the Korean agencies, I had to do an introductory letter and 1 to 6 photos. Those photos have to be very, like, in a sense, conservative, but I'm not a very flashy person, so a lot of it was just like, oh, headshots or things where I had like my shoulders weren't exposed and I wasn't wearing any like really heavy makeup, just because like I wanted my birth mother or birth father, birth family to see what I actually truly look like. I look kind of rough right now because I just took a shower, and I know I have to stop picking up my acne. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about I'd say stage 0, which is the initial, like, you're submitting the forms for stage 0, which for me was submitting my interest forms, or like the initial forms for the Children's Home Society, and then stage 1 would be I'm submitting all the forms needed for the Korean agencies. I really wanted to make this type of video just because in my experience when I was first researching about Korean adoption and like birth family search, it was never really like a clear-cut video of this is what I did, this is what you have to do. Like not exactly, because if it was a different state, different agency, it could be a lot different. But it wasn't like, oh, this is what blah 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 and this is what I did, and so you should try to mimic the steps. But I just wanted to make this video just for information for other Korean adoptees out there who are interested in starting their birth family search, or even like adoptive parents who want a little more information about the whole birth family search. If you're wondering my motivations behind opening a birth family search, I'll include that. If you're interested, shoot a comment below, because like it's something personal that I don't mind sharing about, but it's like some people like subscribe to my channel, they be like, why are you talking about this? So, but this is the first step of many. To all the adoptees out there, know that it takes a really, really long time, and things do not like happen over a week. A week seems like such a long time, but I think in this case a week is really fast. So it's really great that I can converse with my social worker. But the tea with that is that she told me that on March 1st she's leaving Children's Home Society, so now I'm going to be assigned to a new caseworker. So but I'd say it takes a really long time. It may take months, it may take a year, it may take years, and even if you do establish some sort of contact, there's a chance for your birth family to not want to talk to you, or not want to contact back, or not want to have contact back. With that, it doesn't mean you're worthless, it doesn't mean that you're not desirable to meet. It just means I just don't think your birth family is ready to meet you. Every adoptee out there is beautiful and special, and you're wanted out there. Yeah. I guess, oh, I didn't know I would feel like so like you're special and great. But I hope you all found this video very informative, and I really hope you continue watching my journey with this. It'll probably be very emotional and very kind of up and down, but at least I know it will take a long time, so I can prepare myself mentally, physically, emotionally, everythingly. So yeah, have a good night. I'm sorry I posted this so late, and it's just so whatever. Bye.